Okay, so like I know that I've been gone for like more than a month, and that I was gone for like more than a month before that 1 month, and so like I know that I've just kind of been incognito and MIA, but I was still reading during this time, so here I am. Hello guys, my name's Miranda and welcome back to my universe! December is my favorite month to film, and it's honestly just like one of my favorite months to even like be alive, if I'm being honest. So like I know that technically we still have 2 weeks, so this year isn't necessarily over, but let me just give you the laydown right now. I hit my goal of 50 books to read this year, and I was really excited. Basically, I kind of read all the books already that I wanted to read this year. I'm still obviously reading, like I'm reading right now, and I still have a plan for the rest of the year, but for the most part, all the books that I wanted to read, I have read. So now, all of the end of the year filming can commence. This video today, I'm going to be sharing with you guys my top 10 favorite books of 2019. And this is one of my favorite videos ever to film, just because I love reflecting on all of my bookish memories. I love sharing with you my favorite books. So let's just get started. Also, these books are literally in no particular order. I know that last year I actually put them in order and I had like a number 1 and a number 10 and like everything in between, but this year I just can't do that. I don't want to stress myself out too much. All of these books, I love them equally. I literally cannot choose. So the first one I'm going to talk about is one that I read towards the beginning of this year, like way beginning of this year, and that is Moby Dick by Herman Melville. What is there to say about this book besides that it's a classic about whales and a voyage and adventures and Ishmael? Is Ishmael going to make an appearance on Miranda's Universe's second annual book Boyfriend Wars coming in February 2020? Guess we'll have to see. The second book I want to talk about, one of my favorites, is Tiger Lily by Jodi Lynn Anderson. Tiger Lily is a fairy tale retelling of the story of Peter Pan and Neverland. It has a dark undertone to the story, and it really brings a lot of the characters and all the side characters together. I don't know, I just really liked this book. It made me cry many times. Yes, I love it. You should read it. The next book I'm going to talk about is King of Scars by Leigh Bardugo. This was one of the 2020 releases. I'm pretty sure it came out in January, and it's all about the character Nikolai, who is actually one of the main characters in the Shadow and Bone trilogy by Leigh Bardugo. I just love him. Oh my gosh. I feel like the majority of this year, like all the books that I read, consisted of some of my favorite characters I've ever read about, even though none of the characters will ever be able to measure up to Reepicheep from the Chronicles of Narnia, okay? I'm still on the Reepicheep bandwagon, all right? You can't break us down. We're still standing. We're still strong. Anyways, back to Nikolai. I don't know when the second book to this is supposed to come out, because I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be a trilogy. I think it's either a duology or a trilogy. I have no idea. Shows you how great of a fan I am. But I'm really excited for this to continue because I love Nikolai's story. I love seeing the darker parts of him and being able just to go on this adventure with him as he rules this kingdom and he has no idea what he's doing, because like, same. The fourth book I want to talk about is Gilded Wolves by, I never know how to say her name, Roshani Chokshi. The Gilded Wolves is set in 1889 in France, all about this elite group of people who have special talents, and they basically have to go on this huge adventure to find this secret treasure, and it has a lot to do with like kind of cults a little bit, and there's a lot of secret societies and a lot of royalty and secrets that are hidden. And this book is also the first in a series, so Wolf by Wolf by Ryan Graden. Wolf by Wolf is a historical fantasy fiction young adult book that takes place after World War II, and in this case, in this story, the Nazis actually won the war. We follow around our main character named Yael, and she is a shapeshifter, which actually came from the abuse and the torture she endured. She basically was in a concentration camp when she was younger, and they tested on her, and she actually became a shapeshifter, and that's how she escaped, because she was able to transform into someone else and escape. And in this case, she actually enters a motorcycle race in order to try to win and to dance with Hitler in order to kill him. And this book is so full of intensity and a little dash of romance, and it is amazing. I actually love the way that Ryan Graden writes. She's just very talented, very character-oriented. I cannot talk today. Character-orientated. Yes, while also being able to handle a ton of different plot lines and being able to connect them all. It's just very, very cool. The series was very special to me, and I just really enjoyed it. The sixth book I have to talk to you guys about is Echo North by Joanna Ruth Meyer. We follow around our main character, Echo, as her father actually goes missing into the woods that are nearby her village, and she actually ends up going into the woods trying to track down her father, and she finds him. He's passed out on the ground, super frigid cold, almost to the point of death, and she actually is approached by a talking wolf who tells her that the only way to save him is if she promised to come and live with the wolf in his home for a year. So Echo naturally says yes, and this book just kind of goes along with what happens while she lives in this castle and what happens to her father. There's one part that I loved in particular where there is a library, except without physical books. It actually has mirror books that you walk into so that you can actually experience the book for yourself. And that just completely, I fell in love with it. I fell in love with this writing style, with this story, with the characters. It was just so well done. I was very, very impressed. The seventh and eighth books that I have to talk to you about are by the same author, and he is most likely one of my new favorite authors, which is funny because last year in 2018, one of his books was actually in my most disliked books of 2018. So the fact that he has two books in the best books of 2019, I'm shook. I bet all of you guys are shook. Anyway, it's Stephen King, might as well just tell you, and it's the Shining duology. So we have The Shining, which is the first one, and then Dr. Sleep, which is the second one. Both of these books were 5-star books for me, but I specifically want to talk about The Shining in particular because, wow! If you don't know what The Shining's about, a hotel, a man that goes psycho, his family's there. Oh, also he's an alcoholic, there's some explosions, fire, wasps, nightmares, hedge animals that move, snowed in. Y'all get the gist. Really loved it. I love Dr. Sleep as well. The 2019 movie rendition of this is phenomenal. Highly recommend. Highly recommend, at least if you're not easily disturbed by disturbing images. The ninth book I have to talk to you about is What Do You Know? First book in a series, once again, and that is Stalking Jack the Ripper by Carrie Maniscalco. I'm actually reading the third book right now. I already read the second book, which is Hunting Prince Dracula, and this series is one of my favorites. Whew. Main love interest in this book, can we just take a minute? Thomas Cresswell? Marry me, please? Stalking Jack the Ripper is basically set in the 1880s, and we follow around our main character, Audrey Rose, as she studies forensic science behind her father's back because society, including her father, believe that women should not be allowed to talk about dead bodies, see dead bodies, talk about forensic sciences, etc., etc. Then, all of a sudden, Jack the Ripper starts striking, a ton of women start dying, and Audrey decides to take the case in her own hands, and she tries to track down who Jack the Ripper really is. And it's phenomenal. This series is phenomenal. I just highly recommend this series. If you have not read it yet, definitely look into it. It makes me want to become a forensic scientist. We shall see. And the last book I have to talk about in my favorites of 2019 video is Supernova by Marissa Meyer. This is the third book in the Renegades trilogy, the third and last book, and wow, it blew my mind. Everything that I wanted to happen and everything that I didn't want to happen all happened in this book simultaneously. How did that happen? How is that even possible? I don't know. Why don't you ask Marissa Meyer? Because she's the one who wrote it. And oh, heartbreak, sadness, I cried so hard, but I laughed so hard. I just loved this book so much. What the Renegades trilogy is about, in a nutshell, is a bunch of superheroes versus supervillains in this society. And there is our main character who doesn't know whether she's a hero or a villain, and she kind of goes on both sides, and it's amazing, and wow, just another series you really, really should read. 2020 TBR, one of the books you should read in 2020. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Wow. So that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all. Please be safe, make good choices, and look out for more videos from me because the rest of this month is going to be chock full of videos. I have so many exciting surprises for you that I cannot wait to put out in the world. Yay!